I don't have one of our agendas with me, unfortunately.
I did print them out, there we go.
Okay, good. I was looking at
Anyone else
the
need some?
selectmen one, trying to figure out what the... Oh, shoot. I'm trying to give you one, and I can't even get one for myself. Thank you.
Okay. So we have first, reserve fund transfer for unemployment compensation. We have the treasurer, Ms. Gittner, here with us this evening. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was actually on a week and so I didn't get up till late these days.
Okay, so we have a request for reserve fund transfer for $8,999. It's for the unemployment compensation account. The present budget is $6,466. We have backup copy of what the budget sits at, and that is before another payment has gone out, correct?
That is
More
after
time?
the last payment went out.
Okay, so that's
on
as
March
of
7th.
6466.
That's what's sitting in the account right now, and I just got another bill
Okay,
for $2,988. That's due April 13th, I think.
okay. So this $8,999 will cover the April to May, April to June payment, correct?
Plus the last payment for this fiscal year for the unemployment tax management company.
Okay.
They're the ones who handle our unemployments.
All right. I just
Yeah,
want to.
that shows it on here,
Yeah.
right over in here.
Okay. So I do just want to stress with everyone at home, you did come to us about a month and a half ago, and we did discuss this, so this isn't out of the blue.
Right.
I have no questions, I think it's very straightforward. Any questions from the committee?
I had a few,
Sure.
and I'd be careful as to how I make or restate them now, see if I can find
Okay.
my notes, because I did ask for some additional information when we discussed it, not with Ms. Gittner, but when I think we discussed it amongst ourselves at our last meeting, or it might have been afterwards. Ms. Gittner came to us on January 27th, at which point we were informed that there was one person on unemployment effective November 8th, and that there would be a total expenditure of $22,410 through June 2016, hence the need for the reserve fund transfer. But I think I mentioned it last meeting, but I don't have it in my notes that what day it was, but the individual retired, he wasn't laid off.
I did ask at the buy board, and it was an individual who was let go in the DPW, is what I was told.
I knew it was a DPW employee, but
It wasn't a retirement. I haven't heard anything like that it was a retirement.
I use the word retirement not in the broad sense of being 65 or 72 or whatever you are, but it was not a termination, an involuntary termination, which would then make the person eligible for unemployment. There was an agreement that the person would leave.
In some cases,
Voluntarily.
in some cases, those agreements are that a company will not, or the employer will not fight unemployment compensation.
I understand that
I'm
might
just
be
throwing out
exactly what
as
has
a
happened
piece of
here.
information.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I believe that is what has happened here, which begs the question, at least in my mind, from a financial perspective, is whether that was even taken into consideration, completely eroding the existing budget, no consultation, no explanation, putting the budget at jeopardy, if you will, because somebody were to have to leave for other reasons, that type of thing. And I just bring that up as a discussion point, because this isn't the first time decisions have been made about funding positions, salaries, or whatever that have needed reserve fund transfers that I question the validity of a reserve fund transfer. And in this case, we don't have an option.
Okay. Question, Ms. Gittner. What is, just informational question, what's the process when, like someone is terminated in the town and they put in for unemployment? Generally, the employer gets notified of that. Who does that go through? Does that go through yourself owning the budget, or does that go through the town administrator directly?
Unemployment tax management will, the unemployment will contact unemployment tax management. And then they send notices to me and to Kevin, so we're both notified of that. Kevin usually fills out the information on the person, all the different questions that they have, sends in any documents that they need. And I usually will handle
The
the
funding.
payments, yeah, when the bills come in.
Who then decides whether or not to appeal a claim for unemployment?
That would be the town, and
Well,
it's
yeah.
my
Well,
understanding.
who's the,
Individual
the
in the
agent
town.
for the town? That's the question.
In this case, it was not me. It was in a meeting, I'm only going,
Sure.
Yeah, no,
I don't know
that's fine.
anything
Yeah, that's fine.
factual, but there was a meeting. And, I believe it was with the town administrator and this DPW supervisor and the employee. And that's what, they came to that agreement, that the town would not appeal it.
All right, thank you. Any other concerns, Pauline?
Oh, I have lots of concerns, but there's nothing we can do about it. And, well, I suppose there are things we could do, whether we would or we wouldn't is another matter. But, I'm not in favor of funding an unemployment claim that may not be legally appropriate because somebody decided to do so, but again, we have other obligations that the budget needs to meet, so I'm betwixt and between. From a personal
Yeah.
perspective in terms of
From an informational perspective, it is not uncommon for companies to part ways with employees in that manner. Instead of simply just, showing them the door one day, they come out with, say, like an exit strategy, and part of that generally tends to be, you can collect unemployment, we won't fight it.
and
It's a personnel issue, so which we're not privy to at this point. From a process perspective, is there a way that you feel, I can't think how to word this, it could have been more effective?
handled more effectively, perhaps.
Well, from,
I mean, the root cause
Yeah.
of my concern,
Yeah.
concern, using your example in private sector, in corporation, corporate world, that's corporate money. That's their private funds with which they can, a
right,
corporation can choose to do. Here, this is our taxpayers' money.
no, I
And they don't
understand that.
know that this is happening. They're hearing it to the extent they're watching this meeting, but the town is using taxpayers' money in a way that I don't believe they should be using it.
From a process standpoint, should it be perhaps that we have a
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but I found these in the men's rooms. I don't know if for
No,
any of you or...
not
I
mine.
certainly wasn't in the
No, I
men's
know, I'm
room,
just-
but,
They're not
no,
mine.
but thank you.
No,
I-
thank
I'm
you,
trying
though.
to think of who
Yeah,
might have been in there.
Okay, so I'll just leave it in there with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
For
probably be
now.
best.
Okay.
Thank you. I wonder if they're Dons. Oh, sorry,
Sorry,
Cameraman's.
just in perhaps reevaluating the process that currently exists, or maybe there is no process, which is how it.
That seems to be the issue.
If you're saying, Pauline, that it should be something that is brought to taxpayers' attention, and then perhaps it should go from the department head or the town administrator to the board of selectmen for a vote, because as elected officials, technically, they are representing the townspeople.
Mm.
Although
But the
this is a
budget-
personnel issue, so it's also
Yeah, it's a
not
personnel
something-
issue, so it's not really something that can be discussed
Publicly.
publicly to that level. And I think that, and that's really,
Executive session.
yeah, but
It might have been,
Excuse me, these are in the men's room.
No.
We've already been
yeah,
asked.
we've already been asked, but thank
Sorry.
you. I haven't been in there tonight.
in the men's room, another,
So,
From a process perspective, if there were to be a better process of it, and I
Yeah.
don't know that there is, at least to the extent that we are obligated to make a decision on something of this nature, not having the background, I think it would be, I don't think it's unreasonable for us to ask, to at least have
Correct.
an explanation of the process and the rationale behind it,
Mhm.
which is fine,
Yeah, I
And
completely
I'm-
agree with you.
so that we know why we're doing something, because it's not the treasurer's responsibility to question it, it's our responsibility to question it. And
Correct.
from a process perspective, I think that would be a little bit more,
But the issue was created months ago, so I guess.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that
Um,
each time we have an unemployment situation, should they be coming to the,
Well, we generally
Don't
don't,
have
which is
them.
why we did the switch over to, and I know I'm gonna botch this, contributory, which is what we were, correct? We just contributed into the main fund, and now we're
reimbursable.
reimbursable.
So you're
So
gonna have
previously, we would just have a monthly payment we would make in, and then the reimbursements, the claims, if correct me if I'm wrong, would be paid from the main fund, so we wouldn't actually see any increase in our budget, but this definitely gives us some volatility and some exposure on the liability side for these situations. So I think it's worth having a conversation to try and establish some kind of process between our board, the administrator, and also the treasurer, so that the three of us are at least, you know, in the know at the beginning of the
Exactly,
process.
Exactly. To Mary Ann's comment, I think for sure, a decision of not appealing something of this nature should be a vote of the elected officials. It's not something that any one individual is
should be making.
in the
Correct.
administration
Well-
we have should be making.
That's what I was saying, they may have done that in
Yeah.
one of their executive
course.
sessions.
So there may be more to
So
it.
that
but-
Robert, the town administrator, could have made the decision based on what the Board of Selectmen decided.
Absolutely, what we're saying, or at least I'm saying, and I believe my counterparts are agreeing with me, is that we don't know that, we don't have the background.
Right.
And to the extent that, you know, you're required to make these payments based on whatever decisions were made,
Right.
at least for our edification, not necessarily recording or publicizing, we should have that process. We should know what the decision was. So, on that front,
I don't know if they thought down that road when they made that decision. They might have just made that decision and then it just happened.
Well, also maybe not realizing the change in how this was being
The
financed.
I think, yeah, I think that's the biggest cause for this.
I still think it's worth it to have this reimbursable method. I mean, granted, we don't have the school, which was
Yeah.
the biggest,
Mhm.
and it was worth it back then because you paid percentage in and, you know, that's where, your payments come from, was from that reimbursable amount.
there were a
I
lot
mean,
more
the
situations
contributory.
in
Yes,
with the school
yes.
population.
I think it makes sense financially to do it the way that we have it now. I think it's just going back to looking at the process. and
It's a
the-
change in the way we do business, so therefore we need to look at a new process.
So on that, it's 8999 even? Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
I'll give that to you.
Oh, you, don't you,
Yes.
you have one in the packet?
It's at the second to last page.
Right here.
Oh, no, I was gonna read from this with the account number and everything,
Oh,
which may
I
be there,
see.
but,
I see.
so I move that we approve a reserve fund transfer in the amount of $8,999 to the unemployment compensation account number 01913-51710 for the purpose of refunding, or
Just say it.
I can't get the word out of my mouth, for the purposes of funding a unemployment, the unemployment account. I'm sorry, I'm botching that up terribly.
It's late, you know.
It is.
Yeah. Did you guys have this room, or
No.
are you looking for us?
No, I mentioned to Robert that I was busy with some workout stuff, and so I just wanted to make sure that Parks Department wasn't needed for any finance committee stuff,
No, nothing tonight.
No, but it's an open meeting if you want to hang around.
so. Well.
It's exciting stuff.
There's a
really,
set of
if you
keys that
want.
have been found if
it's-
you're missing
it looks
keys.
riveting.
Is it the fact our eyes are glazed over? Is that it?
Oh, no, I'm gonna take my get out of jail free card and move along.
There you go. Good
Thank
night,
you,
Jeff.
Jeff. Have a good night. I have a first. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Chair says aye. You're not a voting member. It's unanimous. And there you are. Thank you very kindly.
You're welcome. Did you want to keep this? or,
Actually, yeah, I'll
you
take
know,
that.
I'll just
Thank you.
take this and you can have that.
Excellent.
You have- just make sure you have all the pieces.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I will get
Thanks for
this to
coming
Lisa
today
tomorrow.
and bearing with us through the
Oh.
Board of Selectmen.
That was exciting.
It had its moments.
Well, have a good evening and,
See you soon.
okey-doke.
Have a
Good night.
Thanks, bye.
All right, so moving on the agenda, the next item is we have a reserve fund transfer request, sorry, tight quarters in here, from the police department. So this was the first I had seen, it was when I got this at the buy board. So I'll read it off and everyone can review the sheets. So the amount is $12,872. And it is to pay for a radio consultant to develop a solution for the overall police radio system. The reason that they're requesting at this time is the expense was not included in the FY16 budget, as it was known that the consultant would, it was not known that the consultant would be needed. The expense is also extraordinary because it's not a normal budget item for the police department. So the Board of Selectmen reviewed this at their March 8th meeting, and they did approve it. However, I did tell the chief before we came in and sat down that because the budget isn't zero, we're not going to take any action. So what I would request of the committee at this time is a quick discussion, and if there are no issues with the request itself, I guess a vote of supporting the reserve fund transfer in the event that it's needed at the end of the year. That would be all.
Why wouldn't we wait until the end of the year to determine how much was needed and then do a formal RFP?
We can do that. So we can change the amount on the reserve fund transfer on an as-needed basis. So, for example, if we get down to the end of the year and it's $6,000 that's needed and that's it, we can just do the reserve fund transfer for that amount specifically. So it's kind of it went to the Board of Selectmen first. I wasn't made aware of it ahead of that, so therefore I couldn't kind of stave it off at the pass and say, well, the budget is still there, we can't act on it.
And typically the department has for lack of a better word, leftover money, and I don't mean it leftover in
And
the
the police
broader
has
sense.
turned back money every year.
77,000 last year.
Yeah.
Hundreds of
So
thousands
one
of
would assume
dollars.
that they'd have enough potentially to cover
Exactly.
this expense.
Right.
But more importantly, have they hired a consultant that they didn't have funding for?
It's a very specific number.
I believe that the consultant has already come in, or been approached.
I mean, if that's the case. See, if they haven't hired a consultant and they're just looking for funding to do so, that arguably could go on the annual town meeting warrant.
But if
Or-
they have, but where they're at now, they have money in the budget.
Well, that too, I mean,
Yeah.
they could use their existing budget. If they need a radio consultant now, I will say they do have issues with the radios on
Yeah.
occasion. They can't hear the patrolmen on certain radios, and then they don't work, whatever, but, well, I don't see the need to approve it with money in the budget, especially at the end of the year.
No, and I'm not asking
But
for
I'm
that.
curious.
I guess more, think of it more along the lines of, do we as a committee have any issues with the expense that they're,
Well, well, that's why I asked,
Excuse me.
have they brought someone on already without I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have issues with the expense in terms of, well, I
Well, it
don't-
seems to be a very specific number, so
It's
where
a-
are where are
yeah.
they arriving at that unless they get a bill?
Well,
or a
yeah,
quote.
or a bid or something, which means that the individual or the consultant
yeah,
hasn't been hired.
there isn't a bid attached, it's only budgetary information.
Yeah, well, I certainly would
Know
want
where
more
it stands.
information on that alone, but it's entirely possible they've had someone in because I do know
Okay.
that they've had testing done.
Okay.
And I can tell because it's a different voice. But, well, and it's the same voice I hear in different towns doing the same thing. So it's entirely possible that they have had to use somebody.
Okay, so let me redirect the question again. Do we as a committee have any issues with the
Amount?
amount and I guess what the expenditure is for at this point in time?
I would like to see where the amount came from. I would like to see
Okay.
whatever invoice
That's what
or
I'm looking
bid or document that supports the
872.
12,872. And then I would also like to know whether it's incurred or anticipated.
Okay, I can get an email out to Chief Murray.
And I believe when that reserve fund transfer request was created, there was a set of instructions about getting backup documentation and not just,
So, yeah.
I'll be happy to
We'll-
look for
we'll-
them.
No, all right, so we did actually discuss that in the buy board, and one of the parting conversations regarding process from the buy board was that, I had told the town administrator, I would put together a memo from the finance committee stipulating this is the process for reserve fund transfer, this is when, like, the point in time you come to us for it, et cetera. What the exceptions would be, for example, Chief Pedrazi came to us last year for a couple of larger items before he had incurred any of the expenses, because he wanted to make sure that we were okay with him spending that money, and spelled those exceptions out. So I will try and get something put together for that in the next couple weeks.
I'll look for the old version so you have that to
Okay.
update, because I remember when
Yeah.
we wrote it.
Yeah, because I know last year we got away from some of the standard process, and it was, there were a few that were like this, like, oh, I didn't budget for this, so I need a reserve fund transfer. So we definitely want to get back to the way that it should be, which is if you have money in your budget, you spend it, and then come back to us at the end. Because the process is supposed to, if for some reason we have an issue with reserve fund transfer, it forces the department head to then go to town meeting for their approval.
Mhm.
And it kind of spells it out in open session for them to discuss. Okay, so make sure I understand, so on consensus, we seem to have no issues with what they're looking to fix, which is the radio system. There is a question on where the amount came from, whether it is, you know, a current bid or an invoice that we have, and when the expense will be incurred.
Correct.
Okay. The other thing, because the budget balance that's on here is just the 797,000 that he has remaining, is to try and triangulate it down to a specific line item, so we can appropriate it accordingly. So I will work with the town accountant for that after the fact.
But if it's a, what does she call it?
It's a bottom line budget,
You know, you
yes.
separate out the wages part of it and,
Mhm.
and then whatever's left is,
I-
hence the
I
reason
like
to
having-
take the
I like
snow
having a
removal out.
specific account.
No, I agree with you there as well.
It's the accountant in me, so.
No, I like to know where the money is coming from if need be, but at the same time, if it's a bottom line budget, then there are some towns that literally budget for wages in one
Mhm.
line, in a, for instance, police department, and everything else in another. Because there's no need to allocate it.
I like having the detailed visibility of where our money's going.
Sure, I get that.
Like I said, it's the
We
accountant.
could streamline it a little bit though. Just a little
I
bit.
could.
Well,
Yeah, I
all
mean,
the,
like
all
for
the
example,
other line items
well,
could
like
become
for
one
police,
other line item.
yeah, like for police, you could put all the clothing
In
together
one,
instead of
yeah.
everything together. All right. Okay, so I'll follow up with Chief Meyer on that. That's the end of new business. Going back to old business, the Devon's questionnaire is just here as a placeholder. I did not get a chance to grab the mail
I have
yesterday.
8 minutes.
We don't have any minutes. 5-year budget model, once we get the budget trimmed down, I'll start updating that. Committee updates, so the executive buy board, we met on, it was last week. I apologize for not being able to get notes out to you. Let's see if I grab my notebook real quick.
Do you remember what day it last week? I
It was
gonna
last
say next
Tuesday,
week.
so it was what, 22nd, so it would have been the 15th. 15th, yes.
Calendar's right behind you, that's why I was looking behind you.
So we discussed some of the budget items that came up today, some of the questions that we have, which were vetted. No, I don't have my notes with me, sorry.
It's all right.
Um,
They put their minutes online yet?
Mr. Pomprian did say he had the minutes and that he would, I think he was gonna put them up on the website.
I haven't looked in a while. The new site is nice, but not easy to find things.
No, it's not.
Well, the old site hasn't been incorporated into the new site.
Yeah. I did have to get a link to the old site. 'cause
Yeah, me too.
I was looking for a specific meeting video. So I apologize.
I still haven't found it on the old site either, but that's for my purposes.
So the buy board, we primarily talked about a lot of the budget items, pretty much walked through everything we did tonight. I did update the budget model based upon what the town accountant had provided with some of the changes that came out. Some of the big things that were discussed at the buy board, like the $15,000 parking study was kind of and I went through my notes and I don't remember, I remember we talked to Mr. Wetzel about that. And I didn't have any specific notes on how, like, whether we were, like, why is it so much? Or if it was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense type thing.
I don't recall him giving any details on it.
Yeah, I don't think you did either.
I've already gone back to the beginning, so what had I missed him?
He would have been
Yeah,
February
February.
3rd.
Yep, I didn't look at the right side of the page. So, fuel,
Obviously,
water,
determine
transfer.
existing parking improvements.
Because I do know he did mention the commuter parking was an issue.
Well,
Yes.
parking study costs one-time expense due to elimination of grant. That's what I wrote for note.
Should be removed
Okay.
from the budget. That's what I had in my notes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, a parking study has been under discussion for years.
Yeah. Well,
I think to be honest, I think Mary Spinner's suggestion, if be done as part of the comprehensive plan, is the smartest one of all.
Master
I do,
plan.
I agree with
Master
that.
plan, yes, not the comprehensive plan.
The plan,
Maybe
we'll just
the
call it the
plan.
plan.
And maybe we could make that a formal recommendation.
Sure.
When we get down to doing the finalized
Yeah,
version of the budget.
yeah, which we do need to set our next meeting. So that was really all about the buy board. Mr. Luca could make it, so we didn't have a lot of discussion at the buy board. We'll go to the round table. Open it up to the committee members. No? Nothing?
No, other than, no, hold on to your seats, I'm actually saying something. Now,
You've
You
been
need to
rather
speak up,
vocal
so, you need
tonight.
to speak up so they can hear you, so there's proof.
maybe
that
I don't
you're-
want to do that. I'll be more muffled. I did see your message from the library, which I think you had forwarded their response.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I personally would have liked to have seen something more concrete as to specifically how they plan on extending their hours. And I don't think that was provided. It just said that there was
No,
a
it
commitment
wasn't.
of additional hours. And additional hours could mean half an hour here or half an hour there, but nothing of significance that would be providing our townspeople with services that are truly
okay.
meaningful.
I can
Story out
probably
there.
explain why the memo from the director wouldn't have that, because that would be a decision that the trustees would make during a meeting. They would have to vote it, discuss it, because they're elected officials.
I would like to see that then, I
Yeah,
guess,
no,
before the appropriation of the funds for.
I don't think we would get that though, to be
Yeah, we
honest.
can't-
I
we
think
can't
they
ask
are
them to
waiting
meet.
for the budget to be approved before they make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, we have at least the director's commitment, and
Mhm.
I think she is a woman of her word. I have no reason to doubt that it won't happen. I know what you mean about the commitment, which day, how many hours, that type of thing.
Well, even, taking a survey of the town to get some feedback on what are the hours people are looking for. I'm assuming it's evenings and weekends, but.
We could make that suggestion
Yeah,
back too.
I have no problem replying back and asking for, either further details or.
I'll try to see-
I get-
I just,
well, but even,
Suggesting that they at least.
Well, or,
inquire.
you can feel free to reply back yourself as the vice chair.
there you go.
You're more than welcome to do that, so.
Any one of us could do it,
Well,
actually,
yeah.
as long as we
Yeah.
don't do it as a group.
Well,
There's a
you can
quorum.
even copy everyone as long as there's no replies to all and et
Okay.
cetera. Yeah, so you can,
I'll do that.
please, that would be great. That'd be awesome. That's one less thing I need to do. I appreciate that. So, mark the calendar, Mary Ann spoke.
And even in the
Um,
joint session, I think you had a few comments at one
Yeah.
point.
Minimal.
It's okay. That's how you get started. And then you end up like.
I was rather minimal in the joint session, I think, too.
Yeah,
I
you were.
was careful.
Yes.
So, I don't have anything for the roundtable, to be honest. I guess the only caution I would give is work-wise, I'm entering fiscal year end beginning April 1st, so I will be flat
Busy.
out for the next 6 weeks into mid-May. Which kind of brings me to the next thing, which is our upcoming schedule. So our next regularly scheduled meeting is on the 13th of April, but given the time frame that we have, we'll need to do another joint session.
And they were proposing the 19th.
The 19th, yeah, and I know you said
Should really not be my preference. The 20th,
Yeah, when is your,
the 18th,
is your marathon the 18th?
it is.
Yeah,
So
I think we.
I just don't want to be sitting for hours on the 19th. I might be hobbling here, so. I
Hey,
mean-
Chris did it.
Chris
He
did it,
came- he
come on,
came-
if music
Yeah, but
can do
he,
it.
he
He
had done it
run
many
more
times.
marathons, right?
He wasn't a first timer. I'll be lucky to come in on a stretcher.
Well, then we can't have a meeting if you can't be here, so,
Just throwing in a little bit of wiggle room.
Alright,
If
so
need
the proposal was, sorry, I lost my notes.
They were the 19th.
So,
The 19th.
Ideally, the 20th.
So the proposal would be the 20th?
Right.
Keep our regular meeting on the 13th and then have the joint session on the 20th, or skip the 13th altogether.
Well, my hope was, because I think we as a committee need to fine tune our recommendations, take official positions on
Agreed.
our recommendations.
Agreed.
And my hope was we could maybe meet next week.
The
No,
30th?
the 30th, but I want to go see Loretta LaRouche.
Well, I can meet next,
Who?
I can meet
Loretta
next.
LaRouche, she's a motivational speaker. Air Shirley Education
She's at the
Foundation has
school.
a guest speaker on Wednesday. Loretta LaRouche, she's fantastic. I saw her years and years ago, and she's fantastic.
So would you like to do it a different day next week? If Mary Ann can, because I can.
Thursdays are good for me.
The 31st.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can we check our calendars and just see if that works?
I
'Cause
know I
that gets me in
can.
just before crazy season.
I will be in Boston that day, I know, but I can be here. It just,
Well,
I'll be
I
a little
could, how
crazy
about
about it.
Monday, the 28th?
I'll be in Boston then too.
Yeah.
Well, I have a mediation, I could be back earlier. But Thursday the 31st is fine if it works for both of you.
Yeah, the 20.
I'll just, I'll
Sorry,
have to
let me
leave work
check my
early.
calendar. Sorry. I think
I'll
the
drive
20
and I'll have to leave work early. What a shame.
I hate when that happens. You have to leave work early.
Well,
I could do the 28th either. Just from a posting perspective, I would have to post the 28th
20th
tomorrow.
is dicey because I have a mediation and if that runs late, I
Okay.
won't be able to leave work early.
All right, so let's shoot for the 31st then.
7 p.m.
And we'll, the only thing we'll agenda is
The budget.
the budget. That's
7
it.
p.m.
Go through discussions, official recommendations, so that we can get those. Do you want to go over the warrant articles too
On the 31st?
on the
I
31st?
prefer to do it on the 31st. And if the town administrator does more drafts of the warrant between now and then?
Yes,
If you
I
would
would usually
please.
request one a day or two before we meet, so we
Not
have those
just in
most
the
recent.
packet, so we're supposed to look for it
I
online.
know. I apologize for that.
That's not your fault.
Okay, so that's great. So the 31st, and for the meeting on the 13th, we can make a decision if we need to meet then.
And then we're gonna ask to meet on the joint session
On
on
the
the 20th.
20th, yeah. I did mention too, the time administrator Tuesdays are very hard for you, so, which is
They
why
won't be
tonight
after
was.
the
18th.
But if
They won't be
you're
after
just
the
hobbling
19th.
in, we can wheel you to the table before it goes live.
I don't know when I'll be getting back from Boston that day, 'cause I'm,
No,
But this is the day after.
yeah, I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright. Fair enough.
I
You're,
think he's
you're
just
running
giving
it,
you
so
a
I'm
hard
not gonna,
time
I'm not
because,
gonna give you a hard time.
You know, I gotta say, I admire anybody who can do that because I'm just happy to walk down it.
Well, I don't know if I can, Holly.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Alright. Anything else? No?
I have one thing that I just,
Can you just step in so that the camera can pick up your microphone, please, Ms. Spinner?
I know,
Come
I
on in, have a
just,
seat. What can we do for you?
I just reminded the town administrator that we need a separate warrant article because when we approved the East Main Street project, it specifically said East Main Street for the water and sewer, and it
Yeah.
came in under budget. So if we're going to have extra money, we wanna do some of those side streets, we just need a separate warrant article, and he said he'd do it.
Okay, great.
So it's not adding to this year's budget, but the way it's written now, you can't use it,
Unless it's on East Main Street.
and that was
Okay.
brought up last week at the meeting too. So
Okay.
that's all.
All right, thank you very much.
Okey doke.
The other quick thing for the 31st is I received an email, which I think it was yesterday, I'll forward it on to the committee, from the regional school district, the regional school committee. They have and I haven't vetted it up fully, so I'm just going off a quick glance. So they've requested that the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee of the town of Ayer and Shirley look at a proposal, or I guess the funding for Chapter 70 that has been put forward by the legislature, et cetera, and requesting that that is fully funded as promised. I know one of the things that's come out of the initial governor's proposal is that he is pushing for more charter schools, but not properly funding Chapter 70 to reflect that, which means that would be
It would take away.
a takeaway from the pools
Public
of the public schools, if they were to do that. So I will forward the email on to the committee, and I did talk to the chairman of the Board of Selectmen. It's going to be agenda for their next meeting also to discuss. So I'll throw that on. So it'll be the budget, the warrant, and then just that Chapter 70 piece.
And then ideally, we would do a written communication to our state reps and the governor and
Yes.
everybody supporting
Correct.
or requesting them to continue.
And we,
smoke
and,
shops.
you know, there are options, we can do that just as a committee ourselves, we can do it in joint with, the Board
Joint,
of Selectmen,
yeah.
you know, all 6 signatures, maybe 7 at the time, but that never happened. So, yes, okay,
Yeah,
excellent,
joint is good, I think.
awesome. So if there's no other business, I'll take a motion to adjourn at 8:59 PM.
Motion to adjourn at 8:59 PM.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye.